Hello everyone, welcome back to Touch the Fire Twice. I'm Joshua, and I'm here today to do an in-depth sniff comparison review of the HomeWorx by Slatkin & Co. 18-ounce Island Citrus Guava candle. This launched in March of 2022, both on the HomeWorx.shop website and I believe also QVC in the Duos. I purchased this through the .shop site when they were doing one of their spring promos, when they did one of their big launches and drops. So I have burned this. This will be a post-burn and comparison in-depth sniff review, where I will talk through, of course, as I typically do, the overall assessment, I think, of the scent itself, the actual burn, the throw, the intensity, the strength, and compare it to, in this case, 3 other scents, 2 Slatkin & Co. scents from the vault, and then 1 recent-ish Bath & Body Works scents, and then actually, literally, I will also compare it to actual literal guava juice that I purchased at the market, just to really try to see, how authentic is this. So first up, I'll just show you here. I actually just finished the second burn, probably about an hour and a half in the second burn. Little tiny edge that didn't fully pull out, but still a solid burner with that really light, perfectly pink wax to match the kind of creamy white pink flesh of the guava. And the notes on this candle are juicy clementine, guava nectar, pink grapefruit, and fresh pineapple. Can see there. So one thing I do want to talk through is, when it comes to a lot of these more tropical fruits, everyone, at least, US based, knows your apples, your oranges, your citrus, most of your citruses, your pears, your berries, things like that. But, talk to someone about, guava or, passion fruit or even something like papaya maybe. And, it's not necessarily, you didn't have it frequently in the States. And so it's something that a lot of folks aren't as familiar with. So I want to talk a little bit about literally like what is guava, what does it smell like? So there are actually many varietals of guavas. So, there are at least 5 that are commonly talked about. So there's the tropical pink, which is what this one is. So it has that pink flesh and sort of a greenish yellow skin on it. But then there are also yellow or Mexican cream guavas, tropical white guavas, red Malaysian guavas, lemon guavas. They can be small like a ping pong, big like a melon, really wide variety. The tropical pink is considered sweet, kind of flowery flavor. The texture will be kind of grain-like texture, almost like a pear. It's considered lush, tropical, a little musky, juicy, a tiny bit of bitterness. So it's often used in perfumes where they want a sweetness, but not overly sweet. So a fruit floral, and of course, Harry is huge on fruit and florals, puts florals in his fruits and fruits in his florals. This is primarily fruits. I don't get a significant floral of any kind in here, though there could be, since we only have 4 or 5 notes listed here. But it is often used in perfumery when you want that kind of balance of tropical, lush, exotic, but that tiny bit of flowery or muskiness in there as well, besides just a cloying, syrupy sweetness. The actual flavor itself is considered to be more of like a mix of a strawberry and a pear. Some people say maybe a little bit of mango thrown in there, a little bit of grapefruit thrown in there. That's when you're getting more of, say, like the tropical and the bitterness, potentially tropical from the mango and bitterness from that grapefruit. So that's what you can expect when you're thinking of what a guava is going to smell and or taste like. So there's one thing I'm gonna say right off the bat from this is the scent on, cold. I don't like the term on cold because it's not cold, it's room temperature, but that's the phrase that is commonly accepted in the candle community, is super light. I'm talking a 4 at best, maybe sometimes like a 3. You can kind of get some of the scent in the lid there. It's just that sort of like rubber gasket kind of captures or traps some of the scent sometimes. And with that, I would say it is a sweet, slightly floral fruit, certainly tropical, bright, white, juicy, not very tart, not super complex, but nice. I would say, yeah, there is, I believe the flowery notes or the musky notes are straight from the guava itself versus a blossom thrown in there, though there could be some small, pear blossom or something in the background there, but not forefront. The scent strength is very mild, very light for what should be. Tropical scents typically are going to be pretty strong. Juicy, fruity scents are usually going to be pretty strong throwers. So my best guess is that this super light strength is not by design, but just by result of some part of the process of of building, you know, the actual materials for the candle. We're talking, you know, the wax, the wicks, and the oils. And the same, unfortunately, holds true for the actual throw and strength when it is burning. So I do want to get a little bit more into that, but first I do want to dig into the scent. So you've got the sweetness and that like florality sort of from the guava. So I always look at the notes, of course, when I'm purchasing a scent, but then once I get it, I want to kind of forget the notes for a minute, do a blind sniff and try to interpret it. And I immediately got a bit of grapefruit on this on first sniff with the guava. And so they also, again, they've got clementine, grapefruit, pineapple. I thought I had the pineapple on a cold sniff, but it's just like a tangy sweetness, which really could come from any of the other three in here. So the clementine, the grapefruit, the pink grapefruit, and the guava itself. I don't know that I really get clementine. So clementine is really, you know, it's your small, intensely sweet, close to an orange. And I don't know. If it's there, it's very light. I wouldn't call out an orange clementine sort of note in this on its own. So it's, if anything, I might be a little influenced by the notes on the bottom. What I do get is grapefruit. So this is really guava and grapefruit. Being called island and citrus, the citrus guava, okay, that makes sense. Island, I would have almost liked there to be something lush and green in here. Think of your coconut leaves, your scents that really do blend fruits with, maybe not florals, but just with vegetation or green notes, and not just your dewy or your aquatics, but just something else, which coconut leaves from Slatkin & Co., you know, the vaults back in the day, really brought to the scent. And this would, I think, benefit from that, but really it is guava and grapefruit. The grapefruit is a nice expression of grapefruit, you know, whether it's pink or traditional, like, you know, I'd say 6 to 1, half a dozen of the other, but it does bring that zesty, bright, not really a sparkling, not a sugared, but a kind of authentic, let's call it grapefruit juice and a bit of grapefruit zest perhaps. I do want to compare it to, there were 3 other candles again, and then well, let's start with the guava juice, right? Let's just straight, you know, brass tacks, get a little, sniff a little sip. This is creamy. There's something, and you can see it's like a cloudy, it's not a clear juice because it is kind of a creamy, the way that apricots impart a creaminess to texture, flavor, scent, guava's the same deal for me. This has a little bit of more of that muskiness that was called out in my research. And strawberry, I guess so, but like, so often strawberry is artificial when you at least taste it in juice, because I mean, how often do you actually just drink straight strawberry juice? And a bit of brightness of, you could call it a grapefruit. So it makes sense. So this tastes, I mean, it is guava nectar, so it should taste like a tropical pink guava. But sniffing it, this I would say is almost like a, if either 50-50 grapefruit guava or even like 60-40 with a little bit heavier on the grapefruit than the guava, because I'm getting certainly more grapefruit notes. Again, this is pure guava nectar. This is not pure guava candle, so that makes sense that there's gonna be other things in here. And again, I thought I got pineapple the first time I sniffed it, but if it's there, it's so mild in the background. It's just that note of, you know, I almost wonder if they call out because guavas sometimes are said that they could have a bit of, you know, a pineapple or mango or tropical edge to it. Maybe that's in the notes itself without having specifically a blend of pineapple fragrance oil in there, because pineapple typically you can call out pretty straightforward in wax, in my opinion. So, but comparing it, when I first sniffed it, I was immediately reminded of, but didn't think it's a direct dupe of, the Slatkin & Co. Pink Sangria. Now the notes on this one from back in 2009, 2010 were mandarin, apple, sugared grapes, and berries. So not much matching on notes, but I think the zestiness of the mandarin in this one, apple to pear, berries, strawberries, mandarin to clementine to guava, not that far off, and a similar execution. Similar vibe if you were familiar with Pink Sangria. This one's a little bit more bright and shiny. This one's a little bit deeper and creamier. Then we're going to one that I didn't think would be very similar, but in name, it was from a failed test collection at Bath & Body Works during the Slatkin & Co. era of Eucalyptus Mint and ampersand number 4 here, Guava. So it was a collection of like 8 candles, and it was when Eucalyptus Mint was really popping off, and it was and guava and apple and mint and vanilla and spices and maybe lavender. So there were a ton of them. The scent of guava is fresh from the tree, transforms eucalyptus mint into a mouthwatering tropical scent. I believe the only one that ever actually went wide from this was eucalyptus mint and rain became eucalyptus rain, that is now out practically year round. but I love this one. So you've got the powdery eucalyptus mint that you know from aromatherapy and at Bath & Body Works. But the guava does add like a creaminess that I really enjoyed. I actually bought a few of these. They went to 75% off because it was a failed test collection back in the day. I wish I could smell the guava note because you don't see much guava at Bath & Body Works either without the eucalyptus mint, because eucalyptus mint is so overpowering. It's like 60-70% of this candle easily. But there is that sort of tropical, a little bit musky, a little pear, apple, berry, something unnamed, like your mango, your grapefruit, your pineapple in there to make it tropical. In this, that they're not similar other than the guava, but they both have a similar style of guava, which I thought was nice to see. And the final one, maybe not surprisingly since I said this is easily like 40 to 60% grapefruit, is the Juicy Pink Grapefruit from, this is Bath & Body Works. This is non-Slatkin Bath & Body Works. This is just from back in 2021. And the notes were sugared pink grapefruit, juicy peach, fresh mango blossoms there. So again, mango, grapefruit, peach, you're talking in the same, fragrance field. I really do like this. This one, I don't so much get peach. It's more so the mango blossoms because of the floral to this, with very much the juicy, sparkling, sweet, sugar, crunchy crystal grapefruit. And that is a similar grapefruit to what you get in here. Maybe less on like the sparkling sugar crystals, but still. It's kind of like if you would combine a little, like your cauldron, a little bit of this one, a little bit of this one, and a little bit of this one, kind of what brings you to the Island Citrus Guava candle. So all I have to say, and a drop of real juice maybe, let's see. So I will say, I like the scent. It's a nice blend, but again, from formulation, I do wish there was something more island in the sense of bringing something a little bit dark, a little bit unique or intriguing. Bring in some palm leaves or a mango wood, or just some sort of surprise in there that you're like, oh, this is luxe and lush. I don't so much get lush. I want like a lush, verdant green in here to balance out the sweetness and creaminess of the fruits and the zestiness, the brightness of the grapefruit. But still like the scent. The issue I have with this candle, kind of that I started off with here, is the strength, the throw, and the sillage of this candle is severely lacking. So the burn, as you can see here, great burn. I burned it a couple of times, great deep pulled out pretty well. I actually burned it in two different spaces, once in both fairly open and large ceilings, but one was smaller, so like a loft area, and then one was in my main open area. And the scent, it's kind of like you walk in the room and you don't really get it. It's just like, it's there a little bit, but it's almost like, is there a new wallflower? Is there a reed diffuser somewhere? And a 4-wick 18-ounce candle should not be like, is there something lit? And is it one of those like final top layers of scents that you want to put into something like a diffuser or an always on, wall plug-in? And because of that, the strength wasn't there, the throw or the sillage, how far it spreads beyond is very weak. I'm talking again, 3, maybe you could say 4, but because it's more than unscented, which your 1s or 2s, and you can smell it without having to get your nose directly over it, but not what I expect from HomeWorx, not what I would expect from this profile of scent. Again, there's some scents that make sense to be a little bit lighter, a little bit more delicate, a little bit more background or layering scent. When you're talking citrus and tropical fruits and like grapefruit and guava and clementine and pineapple, those are not backseat scents. They're in the driver's seat and they're gonna take you on a fragrance journey. And this one does not for me. So at least for me, I can't recommend this. If you are someone who likes something that's not so intense, not the choke you out scents, the 3, the 4s, where it's just a wisp of something, the actual build of, again, the scent itself is nice. I do enjoy. If it was a heavy burner, a strong burner, this pink sangria was a knockout. And you can actually see, look how deep the wax pull would get. You could see down to there, deeper than it probably should have, but without singeing, without sooting, without changing this light pink wax to dark wax. That was a good quality burn. That threw crazy. This should throw crazy, and it just doesn't. So again, for me, it's a pass. I guess I will try to keep burning it. Some folks speak to the idea of cure time with wax. Some, like scientifically, yes, I know soy wax, for instance, but even, people who are chemists that talk about the actual science of candle burning and wax say like a couple of weeks for for soy to cure, to get the strength of the fragrance. This one here, when was it poured? I don't exactly know the codes on the bottom with HomeWorx. I have a sense of them. So F211115. I believe likely is maybe like fall, F for fall, I don't know, or fiscal year 21, I don't know. I'm thinking 21 is 2021. And then either 11/15, maybe it's November 15th, 21. Bath and Body Works is like the first digit is the fourth digit of the year, and then the next three digits are the number of days out of 365. So like 9142 would be the 142nd day of either 2009 or 2019, etc. Right? With this F211115, my hunch would say November 15th, 2021. This was poured, in which case we're talking 4 months ago, so cure time, not an issue. I don't think cure time is an issue with these candles, because sometimes you get brand new ones and they are super strong, feel like a champ. All that to say, I will hold on to it. I'm not gonna throw it away. And I guess I could layer it with some other scents. Frankly, with four wick HomeWorx candles, I don't think I should have to layer to get use out of the candle. It should be standalone on its own, even in a big space. So it's a miss, it's a bummer because it's a nice scent, but just something went amiss with the throw and the strength of the oils. I don't know if it's just, hey, give us 12% versus 7%. I don't know what that is, because again, the burn itself was great. It wasn't like it was a low burn, a poor burn, whatever. So burning well, but the scent just isn't there. I'm rambling. That's my assessment, my review on Island Citrus Guava. Let me know what you think if you've purchased it, if you're dealing with it similarly, if the strength is great, what you think of it in general. Always nice to hear everyone's opinions, both on the actual profile of the scent and the notes, as well as the performance when it comes to strength and throw and all that good stuff. And until next time, take care.